Hey guys, GreatGamer34 here. Today, I'm going to be starting a new series of basically how Redstone will work and what you can do with it. So, as you can see here, here's my wall of tutorialism, if that's even a word. If it isn't, I made it up and I'm claiming it, and might as well go tell Webster's right now. So, these numbered lists right here is just some of the topics that we're going to cover. I was trying to order them in from least complicated to most complicated. So I'm going to start this tutorial off thinking that you guys already know binary, because if not, I have a video that will teach you it. It's a little outdated, but whatever, it works. It's the best way to do it. But yeah, I'm going to start off teaching logic gates. I'm going to go into encoders and decoders, and I'm going to go into comparators. And then going into comparators, I'm going to revisit logic gates that I haven't visited in the first section here, because you, of course, with comparators being out, you can make it more compact and fast or whatever. Then I'm going to go over addition and subtraction binary. I'm going to show you how to ALUify stuff. I'm going to show you memory concepts. I'm going to show you shifters and shifting, which I already have a video on, so that's just going to be made number 7 in here. I'm going to show you memory concepts. I'm going to show you larger systems, and I'm going to show you guys mini games. And one of the easiest ones to build is tic-tac-toe. So yeah, let's get started with logic gates. So, I have I have World Edit, I should say, and World Edit CUI, so you'll be able to see everything that I'm doing. And I also am in a single player world, and this world will be up for downloads as the videos get released. So, let's just do this, position 1. We're just going to do position 2. I'm actually going to fly down a little bit. Fly up a little bit, just, there we go. Set. Words. There we go. So now we have a little platform to start building. So we're going to go over the NOT gate. So the NOT gate is as simple as repeaters will indicate input. Also, we'll have a little lever. This is a NOT gate. So basically, anything you input is not the output. So if I input a 1 designated by the repeater being on, then it'll output a 0. If I input a 0, it'll output a 1. So whatever you input, it'll not output that, if that makes sense. That's where and then since that's the most basic logic gate, we have a couple other basic ones that wouldn't exist without these two gates in some sort of combined way. So this one is an OR gate. So an OR gate means one input can be on to get an output, the other input can be on to get an output, or both inputs can be on to get an output. So that's that. So these two gates, combining these together in different ways, will produce different results. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up the logic gate, how do I explain it? The truth table. That's what it's going to be called. So this is going to be, our inputs are going to be A, B, and our output is going to be Q. So when our inputs are 0 and 0, our output is going to be 0. When our output is 1 and 0, our output is going to be 1. When our inputs are 0 and 1, we're going to be 1. When it's 1 and 1, we're going to be 1. So that's the OR gate. So we can model that with, okay, 0, 0, we have nothing output. 1, 0, so we'll enter a 1, enter a 0, we got a 1 output, and it's saying that we're going to get a 1 output. We reverse this, we put in a 0, 1, like it says here, we'll get a 1 output, and we put in 2 1s, and we'll still get an output. Okay, so that's an OR gate. Now we're going to go over the NOR gate. So first off, we're going to have our 2 inputs like this, and we're going to have our OR. And then you're going to notice that we put a torch on the back here instead of a repeater. This torch is because we have to combine the NOT gate here with the OR gate here to make a NOR gate. So I'm just going to go ahead and label this NOR. And what you'll notice about the NOR gate is I'll do the truth table for it right here. Alright, so this is OR. This one would be NOR. The truth table is completely inverted, so with 0 and 0, 0, 0, we're going to get a 1. 1, 0, we're going to get a 0. 0, 1, we're going to get a 0. 1, 1, we're going to get a 0. So if you see here, same inputs, reversed outputs. That's all it does, is just inverts the output. So that's all a NOR gate does. So now if we look at, say, a more complicated gate, I'll do an AND gate. And then this is our AND gate. So now how AND works is I'll build the truth table for it right here. We have 0, 0, we're going to get a 0. We have 1, 0, we're going to get a 0. We have 0, 1, still going to get a 0. The moment we put both have true inputs, then we're going to get a 1, my bad. So now let's demonstrate this. So we have 0, 0, we're getting a 0, like that. We have 1, 0, we're still getting a 0, like that says. We have 0, 1, we're still getting a 0. And as soon as we flip down both, we get a 1. This works because we have to invert both A and B, then OR the inversion between them, and then invert the output of that. So if you'll see, this is a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 logic gates. So here's invert. Here, I'll label each one on a sign. So this is going to be, the exclamation mark stands for invert, or also known as not. So if you noticed, we have our NOT gate over here, which is just an inverter. So that is also known as doing this, not A, because A is our input. But since we have two inputs on this gate, we have not A and not B. Then it ORs in the middle here. So you see the output then goes into an OR gate like this, where it combines the inputs together, where it combines them together. And we have our inverter out here. So then we have not Q. Q is generally referred to as the output. And I'll put a little arrow there designating that that's the not output. So now, since we have an AND gate, we also have the opposite of an AND gate, which is a NAND gate. An AND gate is basically an AND gate with an inverted output. So we're going to have the same thing here, and instead we're just going to keep the inverted output like that. Okay, so now that we have our AND gate built, NAND, my bad, we'll label it NAND, and then we'll label the parts of it so it's easy to keep track of everything. We have invert A, invert B, we have our OR gate there, and we don't have an invert out. So I can't label that as invert out, can't label this as anything, because it's just like that. So you'll notice the logic gate for this, or logic table, truth table, my bad. If we have 0, 0 inputting, we're going to have a 1 output. If we have 1, 0 inputting, we're going to have a 1 output. If we have 0, 1 inputting, we're going to have a 1 output. The moment we have two 1s, we're going to get a 0. So as you can tell, it's complete opposite as an AND gate. So if you recall, we combined the OR and the NOR gate, the OR and the NOT gate together to make all of these other gates right here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to combine the AND gate, which is here, with the NOR gate here, and we're going to make some fancy gates. So we'll start off with an XOR, or we'll start off with an XNOR gate. So the XNOR, this will be our inputs here. And the XNOR is made up of two things. We have the AND gate, which is going to go up here. So invert A, invert B, invert the output, and then OR them together. Then we're going to have our NOR gate down here. Like so. And this is just a demonstration logic gate. It's not the most practically used one. So here's our output, this redstone dust. And then here are our inputs. So I will label this XNOR. So if you notice, I flip input A, it powers into the OR gate down here, turning this torch off, making an off here. I do that again with the other input, it still does the same thing. But the moment I turn both on, it turns it back to its original state. So the truth table for this looks something along the lines of... Oops. The truth table looks something along the lines of 0, 0, we're going to get a 1 output. Oops. We're going to get a 1, 1, 0, we're going to get a 0, 0, 1, we're going to get a 0, 1, 1, we're going to get a 1. So let's demonstrate this. 0, 0, we have a 1 output. 1, 0, we get a 0 output, like it says. 0, 1, we get a 0 output. 1, 1, we get a non-output. So this is an XNOR. Now if we wanted to turn this into an XOR gate, all we had to do is invert an output like this. Now you'll notice that it has an inverted output here, so instead of 1, 0, 0, 1, it'll be 0, 1, 1, 0. I'm looking vertically downwards on the right-hand column. So basically that'll just invert the outputs there, which most people use XOR gates, because it could be either on with one input, on with the other input, but not on with both inputs. But little do people know that you can also just invert an input like this. So you just do I just inverted an input like that. So that's making an XOR gate also. So this is just ways to convert it back to an XOR gate. But yeah, that's just gate manipulation, and you learn that as you play with logic, and you play with logic gates. So there's an XNOR gate. I'm also going to show you an XOR gate, and this one's easy to remember because it actually looks like an X. So here's an XOR gate. As I say that, I'm still building it, but... So you may have seen this gate before and may not have realized what it's done, but this gate is crucial for adders. Oh, I guess it's the same with the XNOR, but you can use them in two different ways. So basically an XOR, which I'll label here, this is pronounced XOR, not XOR, like some people say. That is wrong. X stands for exclusive. So I'll go ahead and build the truth table for it right now. So we have 0, 0, we're going to get a 0. We have 1, 0, we're going to get a 1. 0, 1, we're going to get a 1. 1, 1, we're going to get a 0. So if you notice, it's complete opposite of the XNOR gate. Still same inputs, just inverted outputs. So now you can see that this is a combination of an AND gate and a NOR gate right here. Which here's an AND gate and then here's a NOR gate. So putting these together literally makes a fancier logic gate, which is what we want. So this one, it works a little differently. You'll see, if you guys ever played Alpha, you'll know this is called an alpha repeater, when you had to extend your signal, because there was no such thing as a repeater in the game. This is basically where the repeater design came from, the two torches, whatever. So this is an alpha style repeater. So if you notice, as soon as I input something, 2 ticks later it outputs the same input, because it's inverting an inversion. So that's how that works. So you'll see this right here. This is that alpha style inversion, or alpha style repeater. We have another alpha style repeater for the other side. So I'll just go ahead and build that right here. So we have 2 alpha style repeaters. Guess I'll do it like that. So now that I have 2 alpha style repeaters, though, this is just an OR gate. So I have an OR gate, but the reason this is called an implies based XOR, because it uses the inversion off the original repeater right here, or the original OR gate, powers up into this block here and powers this torch, or powers that redstone, which then powers this torch. So there's the AND part. So we can have one on, see this turns off. We can have the other one on, this turns off, but as soon as we have both on, it turns on this torch in the middle here, turning off these two, then powering into that. So that's how the XOR gate works. Now you'll also notice that the same rules apply. We can just invert an input or invert an output to turn it into the opposite gate, which is an XNOR gate. So if you know now, we now have an inverted output, similar to this. So there's two different ways to build the same gate using different logic styles, and you guys once again will figure this out as you play more. Now another fancy gate was the same gates that I've been showing you, because XNORs and XORs are the most important. This gate is an XNOR gate, and it's called Tommy's XNOR because a guy named Tommy's, who now goes by Gracefoo, invented this gate way back when, and it's one of the most, not really the gate, but invented the design for the gate. And here's one way of building it, like so. So you'll notice this torch powers up onto this block and this torch here. So you'll see here's the AND gate. We have our inverted A, inverted B. It ORs together right here and then inverts the output here. And then we have our NOR gate right here, where it allows straight through to that block and then inverts right here. So there's our NOR gate. So you'll notice this is synced. We have a tick for the repeaters on each input and then a tick right here, so that's 2 ticks. We have a tick on the inputs here and then a tick here, so that's 2 ticks. So this altogether is a 2-tick logic gate. So this is a 2-tick XNOR, and then here are our inputs for those of you that don't understand. So we turn off, and then on. So that's an XNOR gate for you. So this gate here is the same as this gate right here. So those are the same gates. There's many different ways to build each one of these logic gates as I've shown here. I guess I can go over some piston-based ones right now. So I usually don't do anything with pistons, but you guys might want to see, so here we go. I'm not going to redo any of the signs, but I'll just show you some gates that can be accomplished using pistons. So we have our AND gate here. An AND gate with pistons is as simple as alright, so this is a piston AND gate. So build it like this. Okay. So as you can see, this works by, if you just give this one power, it's not going to go through. If you just give this one power, it's not going to go through. But the moment you give both of them power, it allows output. There's ways of getting around having to use a repeater, such as just, doing this. But you then need to invert this somehow. Yeah, fun stuff, right? So yeah, now you'll notice if I have this one on and this derpy pistons. This is why I don't use pistons, guys. Okay, so now you'll notice if I have this one on and this one on, then I'll get an output. Yeah, so there's just different ways of doing stuff. Yeah. So that's a piston. I don't know why I'm just drawing it. I guess I'll leave this for reference. No need for that up here. Yeah, I really don't like pistons, but there's a piston AND gate. You notice it's vertical, but of course you can make it horizontal. Piston XOR gate. Do I know of a piston XOR gate? Not really, but oh yeah, I do. But it's not really practical. Okay, so basically, we do this right here. The reason this isn't practical is because you can't extract any of the logic out of it, and you'll see what I mean by that in a little bit. Okay. Here's a piston XNOR gate. So if you want to turn it into an XOR gate, all you have to do is invert it like that. So here's an XOR gate. And these are our inputs. So you notice we give one input, we get an output. We give another input, we get an output. But we give both inputs and we don't get an output. Now the reason this isn't super nice to use is because there's no AND gate. I can't extract an AND gate. It's literally just using piston logic to get you the result that you want. There's no AND gate where I can extract this out of right here. Like if I wanted to get the value of the AND gate out of this, I can get the value of the AND gate out right here just by, if I have both values on, the AND gate turns on. you know, if I do both values on here, there's no AND gate to extract. So you have to actually build that on. So yeah, hopefully this clears things up for some people. Next is going to be I'm going to be going over the next thing in the list, which happens to be, I think it's adding and subtracting in binary, and probably building. No, it's actually it's encoders and decoders. So that's a good topic. And then I'll go over comparators, which then you'll see how to rebuild these gates using comparators to make them much faster and much more compact and keep it solid state, not have to use pistons. All right, so see you guys next time.